Hello guys, welcome to Big Book. Today we are going to discuss the general characteristics or salient features of phylum Protozoa. The first point is they are simple and primitive organisms. They are simple by their appearance and the organization. That is, they are this unicellular organisms and prokaryotic, belongs to the prokaryotes. And primitive organisms, they are the lower grade or the first grade of the organisms compared to the multicellular eukaryotic organisms. The body level of organization of protozoans is protoplasmic. They are going to have these single cellular organisms or primitive organisms are going to have the protoplasm as their body level of organisms. But when you are going to compare this with the multicellular, the body level of organization is going to be with the organs, but here it is not so. So they are free living and parasitic. They are free living, they are independent living and parasitic also. They are going to live within the host. Here Entamoeba histolytica and Plasmodium vivax are the parasitic kind. Free living is the amoeba and also paramecium. So these are the examples. Consists of uninucleate or multinucleate protoplasm, mostly naked, or some have body bounded by delicate membrane or a firm pellicle, lorica or shell. Here these organisms are uninucleate. They can be of single nucleus or they can be of multinucleus. So with the mostly naked or some have body bounded by delicate membrane. So here sometimes they are called to be as the naked, but most of these organisms or these primitive organisms are not going to be without the membrane, but they are going to be found with the delicate membrane or a firm pellicle or a lorica or the shell. Lorica or the shell, you can understand the delicate membrane and the firm pellicle, but the lorica or the shell is the calcium carbonate form of the exoskeleton or the firm leather form of the exoskeleton, but it is not the leather, but lorica refers to one of the other meaning of the leather form of the outer covering. In few groups of protozoa, calcium carbonate and silica shells exoskeleton is found. So here this is the example is Radiolarian group and Foraminiferan group. So here these are the two groups which are going to have silica shells, that is of the calcium carbonate. Number of nuclei varies from 1 to many. Few show nuclear dimorphism, as we are going to observe in the paramecium. Next is the subcellular physiological division of labor is formed. So here subcellular physiological division of labor. Here within this single cell of the organism, whatever the subcellular organelles will be present, as we are observing here in the picture at the right, extreme right, there are polar rings, rostri, Golgi operators, nucleus and mitochondrion, micronemes at the top. So all these are the subcellular organelles which are going to act according to the need for the survival of these cells. All the free living forms are aquatic. So here you can understand the difference between the free living and the parasitic here. Here free living forms are aquatic. They are going to present in the fresh waters or the aquatic bodies. Whatever the parasitic will be there, they are required the host. So here these free livings are the form of the are going to be in the aquatic. They are asymmetrical, radially symmetrical or bilaterally symmetrical. The symmetry of these organisms are of three kinds, that is asymmetrical, irregular symmetry will be seen, radially symmetrical or bilaterally symmetrical. Here when you are going to see amoeba. When you are going to see amoeba and you are going to cut the amoeba, it is the going to give radially symmetrical also, and sometimes due to the irregular structure you will see the asymmetrical form of the division also. When you are going to see the paramecium, if you are going to cut longitudinally, it is going to show the bilaterally symmetrical. When you are going to see the euglena, even that also, and when you are going to see the paramecium vivax, plasmodium vivax, that is also going to give the bilateral symmetry. Radial symmetry also observed in certain unicellular, where they are going to found to be as the spherical or round in shape. These are the unicellular, and certain times they are called to be as the acellular. Acellular in the sense they are not going to be bonded with the membrane. But here most and majority of the protozoans are found to be unicellular with their membrane. They have protoplasmic grade of organization. They have so here the protoplasmic grade of organization, in the sense the protoplasm helps in many of the activities for the survival of the cell. Locomotion is by means of finger like pseudopodia seen in amoeba, whip-like flagella seen in euglena, hairy cilia seen in paramecium, and also by contraction and no motion. So certain organisms, unicellular organisms of protozoans, will show the locomotion by contraction also, and some will not move itself. Coming to the next slide. Nutrition of protozoans are mainly holozoic. It is a kind of heterotrophic form of the nutrition, where the food will be ingested into the body and digested intracellular, and certain will be mixotrophic form, where holozoic also be observed and phototrophic also be observed. That is, if you are going to consider the euglena, where certain times on the availability of the food within the aquatic medium, it will be helpful for it to feed on it, and sometimes it is going to develop the food with the help of the chloroplast which is present. And also parasitic and saprophytic, certain are parasitic and saprophytic, that is like plasmodium vivax, and here also they are going to feed the food and the digestion is intracellular, and with the help of the food vacuole the ingestion of the food is going to takes place. So digestion is the intracellular, it is again a separate point. And next point is respiration and excretion takes place by exchange of gases through body surface. Some excretion may occur through contractile vacuole. Nitrogenous waste is ammonia. Some freshwater protozoans get rid of excess water through contractile vacuole known as osmoregulations. So here with this point it is very clear that respiration and excretion is with the help of the exchange of gases through body surface. In the sense, respiration is done by the exchange of the gases through the body surface, whereas the excretion is done through the contractile vacuole, where the nitrogenous waste will be the ammonia, and some protozoans get rid of excess water through the contractile vacuole known as osmoregulation. That is, they are going to balance with the help of the osmoregulation. So here in this slide you can see the contractile vacuole, how it is going to appear within the different unicellular organisms. That is the paramecium at the left, middle is the amoeba, and the right side is the euglena. They have mentioned all the what you call the contractile vacuole. In freshwater protozoans, osmoregulation is carried out by the help of the contractile vacuoles. Encystment is also common phenomenon. Encystment in the sense, during the unfavorable condition, the organisms is going to pause its all activities and going to freeze, and also it is going to develop a kind of the outer shell-like layer, and it is going to become silent until the favorable conditions doesn't return. So that is the encystment. This is going to give the organisms to survive for a longer period and again to come to the life and to its activities when the favorable conditions returns. In this slide we discuss about the reproduction which occurs by asexual and sexual methods. Takes place by asexual method is by binary fission, transverse fission, longitudinal fission, multiple fission and the budding. Here you can see the depicted pictures, that is the amoeba showing the spherical fission, and also you can see that the budding can also be seen in the east. So here at the bottom, here you can see the spherical fission within amoeba. Euglena shows the longitudinal fission, and Paramecium shows the transverse fission, and Ceratium, this is a unicellular organism that is going to show the oblique fission. So this is how the asexual reproduction takes place. Here the organism divides the protoplasm, and it is going to give rise to the two of the new offsprings. And next slide is discussing about the sexual reproduction, that is by syngamy and the conjugation. Syngamy is nothing but the two parents are going to fuse, where the gametes are going to fuse and they are going to give rise to the two new offsprings. Again here the conjugation also, there will be the exchange of the nuclear material between the organism. You can see the syngamy here and conjugation in the paramecium. So here these organisms are the immortal, and they doesn't have the death because they divide to give rise to the two new offsprings instead of giving birth to the offspring and dying as the multicellular organisms does. But here within the unicellular organisms, they are the immortal ones, where they are going to divide themselves to give rise to the two new offsprings. So there is no mortality within these protozoans or the primitive organisms. So this ends the discussion on the certain general characteristics of the phylum Protozoa. Thank you guys for your help.